We both want to wish the Lionesses the best of luck for tonight. You've done amazingly well in the competition and we're rooting for you all the way.
Good luck, I hope you win. Bye!
Amid the cold gleam of the throne, amid rituals that have endured for centuries, there was a moment that made the entire British royal family, and a whole nation, fall silent. A little princess, only a few years old, needed no crown to move even the hardest of hearts. A bow of the head, a quiet gaze, a single tear falling silently during a solemn funeral. It was not merely the image of childhood, it was the sign of a new generation, one that carries within it a gentle courage, a resilient compassion, and an invisible longing to change how the world views power. Will Princess Charlotte, the child bearing the weight of history's gaze, simply be another royal successor, or will she become a symbol of change for England's future? That journey begins with moments like this, small, silent, but so powerful the world cannot look away. On May 2nd, 2015, at St. Mary's Hospital in London, Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana was born, welcomed not only by her family, but by an entire nation. It was an unexpectedly swift birth. Just 2 hours after the Duchess of Catherine was admitted, Charlotte let out her first cry. News spread so fast that the crowd gathered outside the hospital barely had time to settle. Her name was chosen with care, Charlotte, in honor of her grandfather, now King Charles III. Elizabeth, a tribute of love and respect for Queen Elizabeth II. And Diana, a reminder of the Princess of Wales, the mother who left behind a legacy deeply etched into the heart of Britain. From her very first breath, Charlotte was placed at the center of a family legacy filled with symbols and expectations. In keeping with tradition, the announcement of Charlotte's birth was printed formally and displayed on a gilded easel outside Buckingham Palace, a royal ritual that has lasted for hundreds of years, still preserved in the age of social media. Her first photo, taken by Duchess Kate herself with her older brother George, quickly went viral globally, garnering millions of shares within hours. Her position was no accident. Charlotte is third in line to the British throne, after her father, Prince William, and her brother, Prince George. That isn't just a number. It is proof that she stands directly within the main current of the royal future. More importantly, Charlotte marks a quiet historical turning point. In the past, English succession laws favored sons. A boy born later could surpass an older sister. But starting with Charlotte's generation, Queen Elizabeth II signed a decree to change that. From now on, gender would no longer determine the order of inheritance. Charlotte is the first child in the history of the Windsor dynasty to be granted that equality from birth. That fact alone made her presence a milestone, a silent yet irreversible shift, a moment where tradition and modernity met, not on a throne, but at the very first breath of a newborn. One day, whether she ascends to the throne or not, Charlotte will remain a living witness to the moment when the British monarchy chose to change in order to survive. And that, more than any title or fortune, is what makes her an irreplaceable figure in the story of the 21st century. In a family where tradition often weighs heavily on the shoulders of children, love is usually hidden behind protocol. But for Princess Charlotte, Queen Elizabeth II chose a different path, quiet, yet deeply profound. Even before Charlotte could walk, people noticed. She was not just another family member in the Queen's eyes. Charlotte was the most special granddaughter, the child seen as a future bearer of the very virtues the Queen had spent her life upholding: composure, resilience, and loyalty to one's roots. At major royal ceremonies, despite her young age, Charlotte was always given a central place. Not George, not Louis. It was Charlotte who was often placed closest to the Queen in official family portraits. An unspoken choice, but clear enough to understand. In Charlotte, the Queen saw a quiet but steady continuation. That love wasn't only expressed through glances or photo placements. Before her passing, the Queen privately amended her personal will. She left her entire priceless jewelry collection, worth over $110 million, to Charlotte. Among them was the iconic Spencer Tiara, once inseparable from the image of Princess Diana, William's mother. Passing that crown to Charlotte wasn't just a tribute to the past. It was the Queen's way of sending a profound message. Preserve the memory, but have the courage to write a new chapter. When welcoming Charlotte into the world, the Queen chose to wear a bright pink dress, a break from centuries-old royal fashion customs, which had long revolved around gray, navy blue, and somber black. Pink, traditionally considered too soft and unofficial for royal events, made its first appearance as a quiet declaration. The future could be warmer, more compassionate. From that day forward, in the public's heart, the color pink became tied to Charlotte's image, gentle, radiant, yet unyieldingly strong. In the cold world of power and thrones, Charlotte received something rare, unconditional love. And that invisible gift, more than any crown or fortune, will become the shield that protects her as she grows under the world's unforgiving gaze. From her earliest years, Princess Charlotte has shown that she is not merely a child born into royalty. Every step she takes carries the quiet signs of resilience and responsibility, qualities that can't be faked and certainly can't be forced. At just 3 years old during Prince Louis's christening, Charlotte confidently reached out to shake the hand of the Archbishop of Canterbury, in front of hundreds of cameras. A firm handshake, a composed gaze. No hesitation, no shyness. In that moment, she captured the public's attention, not through innocence, but through an uncommon poise for her age. At the Chelsea Flower Show, Charlotte went a step further. No longer clinging to her mother, no need for prompting. She asked questions, observed, and interacted with the public, as naturally as if it were the world she was born to inhabit. It wasn't a forced confidence. It was the calm assurance of a soul nurtured by love, guided by gentle but firm education. Few know that from as young as 4, Charlotte received formal royal etiquette training: how to stand, how to bow, how to behave at official events. She learned so quickly that she often reminded her older brother George and younger brother Louis to adjust their demeanor in public. No scolding, no showiness, just soft touches, whispered words that quietly restored order. These moments repeated at major events, like the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. While little Louis grew restless and fidgety, Charlotte sat upright, eyes steady, gently guiding her brother with a small gesture. The public began calling her the Keeper of Order of the new generation, a title not easily earned. And then, the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II. Charlotte, dressed in solemn black, bowed her head silently as the coffin passed. No sobs, no panic. Just a single bow, a look of sorrowful resolve, then a tear falling in silence. All of Britain held its breath. No explanation was needed. At just 7 years old, Charlotte carried the weight of tradition, not through oaths, not through ritual, but through a heart that knew how to grieve, to remember, and to carry on. From that first handshake to the farewell gaze for her great-grandmother, Charlotte's journey has not been the growth of an ordinary child. It is the path of a new generation, calm, resilient, and already understanding this. Some legacies aren't passed down through crowns, but through the strength to stand tall on the hardest days. Charlotte did not grow up under the public eye alone. She grew up beneath the gaze of a father who once knew what it meant to lose the most important thing at an age far too young to understand the full weight of that pain. In 1997, Princess Diana died in a devastating car crash in Paris. William was just 15 years old. That night, the teenage boy had to hear of his mother's death through the cold whispers of escorts. Just days later, William and Harry were forced to step out in front of the cameras, to bow their heads before their mother's coffin, while the entire world stared. No tears, no trembling. That was the moment William learned his first lesson. In the royal family, even grief must be hidden. But the price of that repression was a youth filled with loneliness. No one truly asked William how he felt. No one truly allowed him to fall apart. Amid cold protocol, William grew up with a survival instinct, avoidance, silence, building a thick enough shell to endure. When Charlotte arrived, everything changed. Not instantly, not with grand vows. The change came through small moments. A held hand in a sea of people, kneeling to meet his daughter at eye level, a quiet nod in place of an order. Charlotte was not just a daughter. She was his chance to do what history had once denied him, to give a child the right to be innocent, not to push her before the media to create a perfect image, not to train her into a symbol before she's old enough to understand what weight she carries, but to walk beside her, to shield her, to let Charlotte and her brothers grow up in love before growing into duty. Every steady step Charlotte takes, every confident handshake, every quiet bow at the Queen's funeral, they are not just proof of the little girl's inner strength. They are proof that William broke the cycle. He chose a different path for the next generation, one where royal children are loved before they are asked to represent a nation. Charlotte is growing up. So is William, a journey of growing up and a journey of healing, intertwined, quiet, but inseparable. Being born into royalty is already a burden. But for Princess Charlotte, that pressure weighed heavier and came earlier than most. From the very first day she appeared in public, Charlotte became accustomed to every gesture, every movement being scrutinized and analyzed. A bow of the head, a step forward, a smile, these were no longer natural reactions. They became benchmarks to assess the poise and public image of a new royal generation. Within the family, expectations were never spoken aloud, but always present. At Queen Elizabeth II's funeral, as Charlotte stepped out of the car alongside Queen Consort Camilla, cameras captured a cold glance exchanged between them. There were no statements, no confirmations, but in that atmosphere, the distance between the old guard and a budding royal presence was unmistakable. The pressure intensified when Charlotte was publicly predicted to inherit a vast personal fortune, estimated at nearly £9 billion, including real estate, jewelry, and stakes in royal investment funds. This information spread far beyond the UK. From then on, the gaze directed at Charlotte was no longer one of simple admiration or curiosity. It carried expectation, comparison, and even envy, things that even adults struggle to endure. At just 7 years old, Charlotte had to learn how to stand tall amid an undercurrent of judgment. No childhood immunity, no right to make mistakes like an ordinary child. Amid blinding camera flashes, under scrutinizing eyes from both within and beyond the palace walls, Charlotte maintained a rare composure. She walked, small steps, but steady, as if every pressure, every cold stare were just headwinds making her stronger. At the age of 7, Princess Charlotte is not just on the list of royal heirs. She has stepped beyond that role to become the richest child in the world and a new viral phenomenon of modern Britain. According to published financial studies, Charlotte's estimated net worth currently stands at £3.6 billion, over $5 billion, far surpassing both her older brother Prince George and younger brother Prince Louis. This wealth comes not only from inheritance rights to royal assets, real estate, and rare jewelry, but also from what's now known as the Charlotte effect, a true commercial force. Every time Charlotte appears, any item she wears, whether it's the little Alice London floral dress she wore when visiting her newborn brother at the hospital, or the yellow cardigan in her second birthday photo, sells out in less than 24 hours. No promotion, no PR campaign, just a single image, and the consumer market is instantly stirred. What's more remarkable, Charlotte's value isn't just economic. She possesses a natural charm, entirely beyond media strategy. On Prince George's birthday, when all attention was expected to center on him, Charlotte, with a simple wave or a confident smile, claimed every headline. British media had to admit, whether by design or not, Charlotte had become the focal point of all attention. From her adorable waves outside the Lindo wing to her cheeky, tongue-out moment in the car at a royal wedding, from joyful skipping games at a polo match in Berkshire to the respectful bow while receiving flowers in Warsaw, Charlotte consistently generates globally viral images. No acting, no effort. That natural ease, that cheerful confidence makes Charlotte the very image the British monarchy desperately needs. A new symbol, approachable, innocent, yet still rich with tradition. Charlotte is not just wealthy in numbers. She's building something far greater, a royal image that smiles, that plays, that connects with the public without sacrificing sincerity. At age 7, Charlotte has already shown sometimes the greatest legacy isn't the throne, it's the ability to inspire an entire generation. The Charlotte effect isn't just about dresses or shoes selling out overnight. It represents a new trend in how the public connects with royalty. No longer distant and cold. No longer just unfamiliar rituals, but a sense of closeness, relatability, like seeing a slice of real life, even amid the dazzling spotlight of power. Charlotte isn't just influencing the children's fashion industry. She has triggered a shift in public psychology, a desire to see sincerity rather than perfection. Every step, every smile, every small gesture reminds the world that royalty, too, can be relatable, playful, and experience ordinary moments like any other family. For brands, a mere appearance by Charlotte in a piece of clothing can spark global sales without a single ad campaign. What A-list celebrities need entire marketing teams to accomplish, a 7-year-old like Charlotte can achieve effortlessly. Experts have called it a new form of soft power, where a single wave can be worth more than millions in advertising. But perhaps the most valuable thing Charlotte brings isn't purchasing power, it's a quiet form of inspiration for a changing world. In an era where the monarchy must adapt to survive, the image of a young princess, confident, joyful, yet mindful of etiquette, has become a symbol of perfect balance between tradition and modernity. Charlotte, in her natural way, has proven one thing. The true sustainability of the British monarchy doesn't lie in crowns. It lies in the ability to touch people's hearts, gently but deeply, through each new generation. And at age 7, Charlotte is shaping a new image of royalty, wealthy, powerful, yet profoundly down-to-earth. Despite her billion-dollar net worth, Charlotte is not growing up in silk and privilege, separated from the world. From a young age, she has been raised by William and Kate in a simple environment, a conscious, deliberate, and rather unorthodox choice for royals. William and Kate have made sure their children don't grow up feeling as if they were born at the finish line. They chose ordinary experiences, sitting with crowds at football games, personally taking their kids to school, letting them play outside come rain or shine. Charlotte is growing up not behind golden palace walls, but in the fresh air, among vegetables, mud, and the dust of nature. Kate once shared, "We grow our own vegetables, carrots, beets, the kids' favorites. It's how they learn life skills, even if it's just digging in the dirt or playing with sand." Charlotte has learned to find joy in the simplest things, a lesson far more valuable than any material gift. After summer 2022, the William family moved to Adelaide Cottage, a 4-bedroom home in Berkshire, with one clear rule: no full-time staff. Housekeepers, nannies, gardeners, all work fixed hours and leave afterward. Each afternoon after school, Charlotte and her siblings return to a house with just their parents and themselves. There, the children are expected to take part in everyday chores, helping cook dinner, setting the table, cleaning up, and managing their own small personal tasks. No one serves them. No one does it for them. Even the smallest routines are turned into lessons by William and Kate. Prince William once shared, "Every morning, my kids argue fiercely over which song to play in the kitchen, so I had to make a rule. Each person takes turns choosing." Charlotte loves music, especially Shakira's Waka Waka, and often twirls in a ballet dress, dancing around the kitchen, dragging Louis along with her. William described those moments as a noisy morning but full of laughter, the simplest, happiest moments for our family. In the evenings, when the family gathers, the children follow a steady routine like any other household. Charlotte enjoys reading in quiet before bed, George is into building blocks, and Louis hugs his favorite teddy bear tightly. No screens, no noisy entertainment hours, just hugs, bedtime stories, and a warm cup of milk to end the day. William and Kate have always believed that normalcy is the most important foundation. A palace insider once said bluntly, "Those children look genuinely happy," largely thanks to the stability and normalcy Kate insists on giving them. That attitude is especially clear in how William and Kate handle special occasions. No lavish birthday parties, no flood of extravagant gifts. William once said plainly, "Giving kids too many presents only makes them spoiled and hard to handle." Beyond life skills, Charlotte is also taught that making mistakes is natural. William often emphasizes, "We're human, and mistakes are part of the learning journey. Every stumble is a chance to grow stronger." Charlotte is allowed to try, to fail, and most importantly, to learn how to rise on her own 2 feet. Even from a young age, Charlotte was taught the importance of giving. During the COVID-19 pandemic, she joined her parents in making fresh pasta to donate to lonely elderly people and participated in the Clap for Carers campaign alongside millions of Britons to support frontline healthcare workers. No publicity, no cameras, just genuine acts, planting in a young royal heart the seeds of true compassion. And to help their children feel confident in public, Kate subtly chose sky blue outfits for important events. A small detail, but one that carried a clear message: calm, responsibility, and poise in the midst of the crowd. William and Kate are not raising Charlotte to project power. They are raising her to grow as a real person, to know how to share, how to love, how to be independent, and how to master herself. Above all, Charlotte is being taught that emotions are not to be hidden. Even as a princess, she has the right to be sad, to be joyful, and to express her little inner thoughts. As William once said, "Even if you're a monarch, you can be vulnerable, and sharing your emotions makes you stronger." In a world where crowns so often come with isolation, that lesson, perhaps, is the greatest gift Charlotte is receiving. What do you believe is the greatest gift a parent can give a child? A life of abundance, or a simple childhood with the freedom to grow, as William and Kate have chosen for Princess Charlotte? If it were you, what would you choose for your own child? Do you agree that these might be the first royal parents to truly show love to their children? For generations before, royal children were raised in environments full of distance. Nannies, private tutors, and rigid rules governed most of their time. Parents, even kings and queens, often appeared only in formal roles, not as true companions in childhood. William and Kate chose differently. They didn't build cold walls. They didn't turn George, Charlotte, and Louis's childhood into a textbook of royal protocol. Instead, they shared in the simple joys of life with their children, growing vegetables, cooking meals, laughing over morning song choices, running and playing together in sun and rain. Charlotte and her brothers live in a world where emotions aren't hidden, where mistakes aren't punished, where love doesn't have to be disguised behind the flash of cameras. Compared to William's own childhood, where pain had to be silenced and tears forbidden in public, his choice for Charlotte is a quiet revolution. Without tearing down tradition, William and Kate are quietly redefining it. A monarchy not only tied to thrones, but to real memories of happy children raised with love, freedom, and kindness. If Charlotte one day ascends the throne, she will wear more than just a crown. She will carry with her a complete childhood, something many royal generations before her never had the chance to touch. Charlotte is growing up under the watchful eyes of the world. She may become a future queen, or she may choose to write her own path, one of freedom and compassion. But first, let Charlotte live her childhood as it's meant to be, innocent, free, and full. What do you think? A crown-wearing Charlotte, or a radiant, free-spirited Charlotte of the new century? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to follow more everyday, heartfelt, and inspiring stories from the royal family, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's so much more waiting for you ahead.